Hello, and welcome to the second of 3 videos on parallel structure. Now, in the first video, we looked at infinitive verbs and gerunds. Today, we're looking at verb tenses, adverbs, adjectives, and plural nouns. So let's review. Parallel structure is not parallel parking, but it is instead the balance when all words, phrases, clauses have the same grammatical structure within a sentence. It means that all items are given the same importance, which improves your clarity in your writing. The first way we do this is a verb tense. Now this is the changing of an ending on a verb to show time. Now, unlike other languages, English has mainly two, the past and the present. Now, you can change things, and there can be additions to this. There's up to 30 of what we call auxiliaries. And that's when spelling changes and we start adding multiple, have had, have swum, that sort of things. Those are auxiliaries. But verb tenses, for the most part, are used to answer the when a sentence occurred. So let's look at some examples. In parallel structure, this sentence is not an example of parallel structure. On schooners in the 1890s, knots tie sails into position so that ships successfully traveled across the Great Lakes. All right, we have some problems. First of all, immediately we're given a time in the 1890s, so Queen Victoria, after the Civil War. This is definitely something that happened in the past. However, I have this random verb that's in present tense, and then later I've got another one in past tense. Well, I know something's wrong. My verb tenses don't match, and it's messing up the clarity. What are you talking about? This doesn't make sense. And if you were writing about a history paper, for instance, and you stuck a present tense verb in there, people are going to call you on it. So how to fix it? Easy. We just go ahead and change that one verb into a past tense verb, thus aligning our sentence into parallel structure. Let's look at another example. If you became seasick while out on the open water, your doctor can prescribe anti-motion sickness medication. And I think I even said this correctly instead of reading it the way it is. If you became seasick is, of course, our problem, because that's either past tense or one of those weird terminologies that could still continuously be happening. But we have something here that, again, can prescribe. That's something that can happen in the future. So that's one of those problems that we're going to have to fix. And we can easily do this by talking about if something happened in the past, then let's do something in the future by changing it to past and then a future form. Now, verb tenses get really funky because we're going to need to do things like this with a sentence like this, a cause and effect style. And that's going to change your verb tenses. The quickest trick for making sure that your sentences are parallel, read them aloud. Let's look at the next bit of parallel structure we have, adverbs. These are words that modify, and since modification tends to remind us of cars, let's say describes or clarifies a verb or verb phrase. Now, adverbs can help us better understand what the verb is doing within a sentence. They answer how or when something was done or how many. Adverbs in parallel structure work like this. This is our non-example. Schooners were popular in America because they could sail quickly and with ease in shallow water and windy conditions. All right, so first things we have is an adverb, quickly. But then we have this funky one that says with ease. So it's not an adverb, and we need to fix that. So how can we do that? Well, easily change the word. Now, easily and quickly are both adverbs, making our sentence parallel. Next, we have adjectives. These are words that modify, again, not like modifying a car, but clarifying or describing, a noun or noun phrase. It gives us more information to help us understand the noun in a sentence. They answer questions that give us more information about the nouns, like what. So, non-example of a sentence here. A schooner has up to 3 masts, which are tall and hold the sails. Now, an adjective describes the masts are tall, but hold the sails are not an adjective. So let's go ahead and fix that. How would we change it? Strong. Now we've made a weird kind of phrase here to keep the clarity and the intent behind the sentence. Just because your sentence is in parallel doesn't mean the information within it needs to change completely. You just need to figure out a way to word it differently. A schooner has up to 3 masts, which are tall and strong to hold sails. I haven't lost the point, but I have made it parallel. Finally, we're looking at plural nouns today. Remember that nouns are a person, place, or thing or idea, and therefore a plural is just a multiple person, place, thing, or idea. Nouns answer questions like what or why or where. So in our non-example, unfortunately, schooners also transported its most profitable trade, slaves. Now, schooners is the subject of our sentence and our noun, and it is plural. There were multiple slave trading ships, but we have a problem here. Its profitable trade, and that's a singular, so we're going to have to fix that. Again, quick read through, and we just change it to the multiple pronoun, their instead of its. In review, parallel structure balances all words, phrases, and clauses so that they have the same grammatical structure and importance within the sentence. First, verb tenses show the time of an event by changing the form of a word, but that tense has to stay the same throughout the entire sentence. Adverbs modify a verb by providing clarity to what's going on with the verb. If you use one, you have to use multiples. Adverb has to stay with multiple adverbs through a sentence to be parallel. Similarly, adjectives modify or clarify nouns, and they must be all adjectives throughout a sentence to remain parallel. Finally, plural nouns are multiples of people, places, or things or ideas, and if you start with a plural noun, you have to stick with a plural noun, be it pronoun or otherwise. Be sure to review your writing for clarity, which is the point behind parallel structure. If you have further questions, contact your teacher.